Okay, so welcome to the Emergency Services Committee meeting for September 15th, 2025. Just like to call the meeting to order. So I need a mover and a second. So moved by Donna, second by Alan, that the meeting be open at 6:06 p.m. All in favor? Okay. And the adoption of the agenda, just need a mover and a seconder.
I want to make an amendment. If that's
Oh.
okay. Can you add the letter from East Ferris under
Correspondence.
yes.
Anything else? All right, so the adoption of the agenda
As an
as amended, moved by. And second by Alan. That the agenda for the Emergency Services Committee meeting for September 15th, 2025 be approved as circulated. All in favor? Carried. The disclosure of pecuniary interest? No. Right, and then the adoption of the previous minutes. Need to move on a second. You are? Oh, okay. Okay. So moved by Donna, second by Matt, that the minutes of the Emergency Services Committee meeting held July 28th, 2025 be adopted as circulated. All in favor? Carried. Any presentations or delegations? None. Moving us down to 6 for the staff report. So 6A, report for the fire chief regarding recent call, training and community involvement.
All right, good evening, everybody. This report's a little bit long because we are covering 2 months worth of calls and training that we did in the fire service. So the report highlights the Balmfield Volunteer Fire Department from July 24th, 2025 to September 11th, 2025. The purpose of this report is to keep the committee and the community informed on the fire service. This is the highlight of my first 6 months as the fire chief. As it stands right now, we currently have 16 operational volunteer firefighters. We responded to 15 calls of service during that time frame. We responded to 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 11 medical calls, 1 vehicle fire, which we were actually called off because it was in Calvin Township, so we were dispatched in error. But we did have a couple of guys we're going to respond to it, and once I got the information from North Bay CAC, I called them off, said this is a Calvin Township call, so that we were dispatched in error by North Bay CAC. So we did wires down, and we also did a burning. I attended a burning complaint, and that was it. So majority again of our calls, 11 of the 15 were medical for that time period. We did 1 trees on the wires, 1 burning complaint, and we actually did a mutual aid call for a structure fire with East Ferris on September the 5th. We had almost our entire department respond. We had a couple guys that stayed back to handle any bomb field calls, but we had majority of our staff respond to that structure fire to assist in mutual call with East Ferris. And I did receive a email from the chief of East Ferris. He was very appreciative of us coming out and helping them. He said we were a great asset, and the 2 departments worked cohesively very well together. So I was quite proud of our firefighters for that call, for their professionalism and the way they handle themselves, integrating with another municipality for the department. And it just shows that the collaboration we have with our surrounding partners, that we can work well together in any kind of situation. So I'm very proud of our firefighters. Year to date, we responded to 67 calls, and just a note, we've already exceeded last year's call volume. So, yeah, last year we responded to 65 calls last year, so now we're already 2 ahead. We still have 3 more months to go in the year. So, for our regular weekly training, which we do every Monday night, we do always do regular EMS and medical call procedures. So again, because the 90% of our call volume is medical, we're always integrating or upgrading our medical skills for the calls that we do get called. First thing the firefighters do when they get in on Monday nights, they always check their PPE and bunker gear. They check it for inspections. They make sure that it still fits. If there's any issues with it, they report back to me if there's any issues on it. We, this happens, we do always talk about tanker shuttling and what we're gonna do, and this came into effect during the East Ferris Fire, because we were called for manpower and for our tanker, for water shuttling. So the firefighters did an excellent job. They were very proficient at water shoveling. And that just goes to show that what we do every Monday night with tanker shoveling, that is the vast majority. If we do any kind of structure fire, and we're gonna be shoveling water, that the firefighters are very proficient in tanker shoveling. Along, and it goes hand in hand with the pump operations and hose advancement. So again, at that fire, they were advancing hose lines. We had pump operators at not only our trucks, but also assisting East Ferris as well. We always make sure our hall is clean. We always do. Yeah, we always, before we leave, we sweep the floors, we wash and clean the trucks and make sure that the apparatus bay is clean itself. For our specialized training, we're still working towards our NFPA certification, so we do have a test date come up in November. And tomorrow I'll be submitting the names of who will be going for that test date in November, so we know which firefighters will be going. Deputy Strood there attended a mock disaster exercise hosted by East Ferris. So if the deputy would like just to talk a little bit about on that, what you did there for the mock disaster.
Yeah, so it was at Nipissing Manor, they did a mock fire. So I was just there to kind of observe what they were doing, see if I could take notes, see if I could pull anything back for our guys. Actually did learn lots. So we're looking at different accountability, different ways to do accountability on fire scene. So that was the big thing that I pulled out of that exercise, and hope to do more in the future.
Perfect, and that also goes to, that will go hand in hand with our incident command system as well, and our incident management system as well. Those two will be definitely integrated at any kind of mock disasters. We'll have a strong IC presence there, along with a strong accountability board and accountability program in place to keep track of all of our firefighters, where they are, how long they've been in the hot zone, you know, when they need to be pulled out, when they need to go to rehab. So that's all part of the accountability kit and board.
Do we have med tags?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in the process for next year.
Because that's, we do the upside down.
That's right,
tag,
yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that's how accountability is usually.
The earlier to the firefighters, they flushed out the dry hydrant on Trout Pond Road to make sure it's still operational. And it is still operational. There is one thing that we want to add to it. I believe you were saying there was a screen, right, that we want to add to it.
Yeah, screen or some sort of way to keep silt or stones from, because there is nothing protecting the end of that pipe. You can literally shove your arm up the pipe. So if we were able to put a screen or a culvert or something with some cutouts in it, then we can, you know, keep rocks out of it.
Did public works help with that, or? You can check with public works.
For my updates, I regularly review the fire rating, and now we're getting to cooler months. I don't have to really review it every day. So now we're getting to the cooler months. We're always doing ongoing training for our new recruits, and that, in saying that, new recruits, I bring forth the committee my recommendation that we hire firefighter Adam Fulton and firefighter Spencer Turcott as volunteers. They've been out with us the last 3 months very consistently on every training date. They've been with us every Monday, been out with us, you know, watching us, learning from us, and I would like now to make them to become permanent volunteers, so that will bring our ranks up to 18 now. And as an attaboy or thank you note, firefighter Caldy obtained his DZ license. Now he is a driver. So now we have another driver in our ranks to get the trucks to the scene. So for our fire prevention, it's always ongoing. Every call that we make, we always look at the fire prevention aspect to make sure that the residents of Bonfield are safe and adhering to the Ontario Fire Code. And new fire protection material has been ordered. So we're gonna have new fire protection material that with Fire Potential Week coming up in October, we're gonna have new material out for fire prevention as well. For our community events, our community involvement, we were quite active. We did open house here at Station 1 on July 27th. Service awards were presented to Captain Nick Watson and Lieutenant Zach Mason for 10 years of service. And a 5-year service award was presented to Lieutenant Nathan Landry. Firefighter, now deputy, Matt Strood was promoted to the rank of deputy. And I was, as chief, I was welcomed by the mayor and councilors, Featherstone and Clark, and members of the public toured the fire station and interacted with the firefighters. So I was presented with I guess you could say, an award or an appreciation for me stepping into the position as fire chief for the municipality, for the township, so. The firefighters, we watched on the horse ring at the agricultural fair on August 16th. We also watched down the town bridges on August 16th and 17th. Hopefully the members or the community now knows how clean bridges are. Yeah. The firefighters had a canteen at the movie night on August 31st at the community rink. Proceeds from the sale of treats go towards the either they're looking at equipment purchasing, so we've got a budget that we're looking at any monies that we raise through our which now we're gonna have an auxiliary club, or auxiliary committee, and we're looking at raising funds now for the fire department. It's gonna be very transparent. Whereas the township and the townspeople will know what we're raising money for, how much we raise, what our goal is, what we're looking to purchase. And that will become ownership of the township. So any equipment that we purchase will become the ownership of the town. We also attended the staff appreciation barbecue hosted by Councillor Featherstone on September 6th. And that was it. Yeah, and that's it. That is my report. So like I said, my recommendation that we hired the 2 firefighters. Now we brings our ranks up to 18, and they have my blessing. So they've been there for the last 3 months. So
Can you tell me when the fire prevention week is?
I haven't got the exact date yet in October.
Okay,
It's the first full week of October. So
The first full week?
To the 13th.
Okay.
okay. And we've got activities planned or anything planned?
We'll be doing like our door-to-door stuff.
Okay.
That's gonna be a big part of it for sure.
Okay. And then anything that we need to advertise on our website or on the community calendar?
And we have a newsletter that's going out, and there is like a full page in the
Oh,
newsletter,
great.
perhaps 2 full pages for the fire department because it's fire prevention.
Okay, that's.
Great. So 6B, report from the fire chief regarding the cancer prevention rate.
I'm up again. So as it stands right now, the OFM, they're in phase 2 of the fire prevention grant. And it's for cancer reduction, so the grant has to go towards cancer reduction equipment. And what I am recommending is that to purchase a Bunker Gear washer, extractor, and dryer for the Brownfield Fire Department from PPE Solutions. PPE Solutions were the lowest tender, the 3 quotes that I received. Total cost for these items is $19,523.33. And that also includes a budgeted line of $2,500 for installation for water and hydro hookup. So without take 2,500 off the 19, you're looking at just over 17,000 for the units. That includes shipping as well. So the background on the fire prevention or protection grant, is the Ontario government has started phase 2 of the fire protection grant process as part of its plan to protect Ontario and keep communities safe. The Ontario government is increasing this year's fire protection grant funding from 10 to 20 million, so they doubled it for phase 2. Phase 1 was only 10 million, now they've doubled it for phase 2 to 20 million. And that's for the entire province, not just for us, that's for the entire province. The investment will help keep the municipal fire departments expand cancer prevention initiatives and improve emergency response if we have lithium battery related products. So I got 3 bullet points here that what the grant has to go towards. And the one grant, so the Prevent Fire Protection Grant is available to municipal fire departments for both new and existing initiatives. Eligible projects include equipment, supplies, and personal protective equipment that enhance municipal cancer prevention initiatives. And that's what we did last year. We bought gear through the grant for the fire protection grant. We bought all firefighters. We bought 12 new sets last year, and we bought another 5 this year. So now every single firefighter has bunker gear that is at least from 2021 on. They have a 10-year shelf life. So now every firefighter has up-to-date gear, so they're well protected. Equipment and supplies for lithium-ion battery instant response, i.e. my car, because it's one great big giant lithium-ion battery. and a minor infrastructure upgrades and modernization, including enhanced broadband and internet connectivity. So if we were already had everything that we needed, we could use that grant for improved internet connection up here. The analysis for this report is that the purchase of the bunker gear, wash extractor, and dryer for the Bonfield Fire Department with the fire protection grant will greatly reduce exposure to cancer-causing agents, also known as carcinogens, to firefighters. Currently, our process to decontaminate the bunker gear is that it gets bagged and shipped to a contractor in North Bay. When we're going to buy these equipment, my estimate is that this equipment will last us 25 years. So the washer and dryer, simply because we don't use it as well or as much as other municipalities may use it because of our call volume. So for the washer extractor and the dryer, it's going to last 25 years. So it's one purchase and done, next 25 years. So the cost we're saving, sending our gear out to a contractor will more than pay for itself for the washer and dryer. Even though the bunker gear is bagged, it still gives off gases, still off gases. We're calling fire service off gases, you can still smell it. So the gear is still off gassing, even though we've taken it off, we've bagged it. So what we do in Brampton is that we put our outer shell in one bag, our inner shell in another bag, and put those two bags in another bag. So it's triple bagged, but you can still smell it. So the bag is then transported to via personal vehicle to the contractor in North Bay. And even though a lot of the firefighters have trucks, they put in the open tail of the truck. Those gases still seep in to the vehicle. So anybody who rides those vehicles will now are exposed to those carcinogens, even though they're not part of the Bonfield Fire Department. So family members are still exposed to it. And even the driver, after the gear has been removed, it's still exposed because now it gets into the fabrics of the seat. So you're still smelling it. So it gets on your clothes and you're bringing it home. You're walking to your home now. Your family, your spouse, they smell it and now they're exposed. So this washer, extractor, and dryer will eliminate all of that because the gear will stay at the station, gets washed at the station, dried at the station, and then it's put in use for the next time we need it. So so anybody who rides in a personal vehicle is now exposed to the carcinogens for weeks and maybe months after the contaminated bunker gear is removed from the personal vehicle. The purchase is supported by the funding objectives, which I stated earlier. The very first one, equipment, supplies, and personal protective equipment that enhance municipal cancer prevention initiatives. In preparation for this application, 3 quotes were obtained. Results of these quotes are as follows. So the first one was PPE Solutions. That's the one that I am recommending. The total cost was $17,023.82. And then you add the $2,500, which is budgeted. So it brings the total cost of $19,523.83. The other quote we had was from Ontario Laundry Systems. Their quote, including HST, was $27,989.59. That included delivery as well, and then the third quote we got from Daxon Javar. They're out in Ottawa, and their cost, including HST, was $34,352. So this you can see why I'm recommending the PPE Solutions. The one came in it was the lowest tender, and then also what we can do because we have a resolution for council is that we also we budgeted $2,500 in expenses for the hookups, so that's water and hydro. In addition, with the remaining funds allocated through the grant program, we will spend on new SCBA masks and portable equipment. So if we say we get $32,000 as a grant, we spend $19,500 for the washer dryer. Whatever's left over will go into the purchased SCBA masks and new SCBAs for the firefighters, because that is cancer prevention. So any monies that left over have to go towards cancer prevention, and that is for us would be new SCBA masks and SCBA equipment. So my recommendation is the purchase of a washer, extractor, and dryer for bunker gear for cancer prevention and reduction through the Fire Protection Grant 2025, and that will be through hopefully through PPE solutions. And that is my report for cancer prevention.
Well, I have a little question, but just, so the, is there a total amount, a cutoff amount that we can apply for?
I believe we now get 16,300 per station, so 32,600.
So that
Yeah.
was the 32,
Yeah,
okay.
that was 32.
And so we're applying for the entire 32?
Yes.
Okay, and this is just part of it.
Yeah.
And just so I know, sometimes the cheapest isn't the best value. So I mean, obviously I'm gonna defer to your recommendation, but just so that you know, again, sometimes the cheapest is not the best value.
Yeah, I know.
So let us know.
Yeah.
What you've obviously done the research
Yeah.
and this is your recommendation, that's fine, but I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah, I looked at all three quotes and all the machines are very similar
Okay,
to each other. And so one's coming from Ottawa and one washer was actually manufactured in Sweden.
Oh.
So it's not even North American made.
yeah,
So
okay,
that's why the third quote was so high.
okay. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks, Sean. So 7 items for committee discussion. 7A, discuss and update the CEPG grant project provided by the CEMC.
So at our last meeting, I provided a summary of what the system looked like. We're now proceeding into the execution phase of this, and just to refresh everybody's memory, there's 3 components. One is the Radio Pro system, which is the voice logging, which requires digital radios, and that's the second component. And we're gonna repurpose and recycle the analog radios that fire uses right now to Public Works. And many of those radios are upgradable to digital, so, and for like $100 a radio. So in the future, we can expand, and eventually our objective would be to get everybody on a digital system. But the digital radios allow the voice logging through Radio Pro. Radio Pro is a dispatch voice logging system. There'll be 2 workstations. There'll be one here and one at the fire hall. They're cloud connected, so we can operate out of the fire hall at dispatch, or we can operate here in the EOC in the event that we have a longer term event. So if something like we had recently, dispatch could be live here, and it would be, say we're in here for 3 days, dispatch would be up and ready and running. Voice logging would be up and ready and running. The other component of this is the radio system itself. So we're gonna install 2 base stations in this room as part of the EOC. One base station will be on the fire department frequency, and one base station will be on the Public Works frequency. So we didn't want to mix up the 2 frequencies in emergency, get a lot of crosstalk and chatter. This keeps it clear, keeps all the voice data logging from fire clean and separate, and we don't get a lot of chatter on that. And we think we can install all that equipment across the front of the room. A couple more a couple more desks like that. 2 radios. They'll be installed. There'll be antennas here out of this network. It'll be and a LAN-based workstation over the fire hall. So the whole system should enhance the operations of the fire department and provide extra functionality for the emergency operations center. So we've awarded the work to Spectrum. Chief and I had an opportunity to see a live Radio Pro demonstration earlier this summer. It's up and running in many places. I think it was, I forget the town, it was Bracebridge or Bracebridge that had it. We saw their live system, and people were talking on it. When we get a 911 call, it shows up on the radio. CAT gets it. It's all very transparent, and that transparent communication is essential, and especially in the event of emergency. So, on a financial side, our grant ceiling was 45,000. We're 43 and change, and we've got a number of mobile radios in there that we can use as a buffer. So if something runs a little bit amok on it, we can probably go plus or minus on a radio and still be well within our budget. So it's hopefully we won't do that, and we'll get an extra radio out of it. So. It's looking good. We're hoping to have this installed well before the end of October. The equipment's on order now, and we'll be setting a date over the next week or so for the actual beginning of the installation. We have to purchase the Spectrum will supply all the equipment except for the two workstations, the computer desk and monitoring computer for the fire hall and for here. So they're it's a minor part of it. Computers are relatively inexpensive these days, and but it'll give us an opportunity to upgrade the workstation at fire hall. If we have a little bit extra money, and I see you got some money squirreled away in here for internet. So yeah, we're looking at really doing a tune-up on our communications. I think it'll be a good system.
Thanks, Tom. Okay, and 8 resolutions to be considered for council recommendation. So 6A, mover and seconder, that the Emergency Services Committee recommends council accepts the fire chief's proposal to appoint Adam Fulton and Spencer Turcott to the volunteer fire department for the township of Bonville. Mover and seconder. All in favor? Carried. Great. And 6B, that the Emergency Services Committee approves and recommends the township's purchase of a bunker gear washing and drying machine if successful through the fire protection grant from the province of Ontario for cancer prevention measures. Mover and a seconder. Sean, perfect. All in favor? Carried. Great. No correspondence, oh, no, we added correspondence,
Yes.
9A, East Harris letter. So that was a letter that they sent from the mutual aid.
Yes,
Right?
yeah, from the fire chief, yeah.
Does anybody have a copy of it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Want to read it out?
I do.
Yeah, perfect.
It's here. Yes, I did read it. So it says. Good morning, Sean. So this is from the fire chief of East Harris. Good morning, Sean. I wanted to reach out to say thank you to your crew that responded to the structure fire on Friday. The help they provided to a quickly escalating situation was greatly appreciated. All members worked well together and your firefighters were professional and did a great job. Kudos to you and your team. We feel very comfortable calling on Bonfield for future mutual aid. Thank you, Steph Amiot, which makes us feel very proud.
Yeah, great job, guys.
Yeah.
All right, no closed session today. Brings us down to 11 adjournment. I'm gonna move on a second. Move it on, second by Alan. That the meeting be adjourned at 6:34 p.m. All in favor? Okay. Thanks, guys.